Welcome to this lesson. In this video, I will talk about some materials that you will need to start painting with oil paints. To start, you will need a surface to paint. This could be canvas or paper. Usually, the canvas has a textured surface. If you decide to paint on paper, this must be specific for oil painting technique. It's different from canvas, it's smoother, but you can also find textured paper if you prefer. And of course you will need oil paints. If you don't have all these colors, don't worry, you can always paint just with the primary colors. Only with red, yellow and blue you can create different colors, and it's always good to have white to create lightened tones. You will also need two containers for the medium. In this case, we will be using linseed oil. One container will be used to mix with pigments and another will be to clean the brushes. Linseed oil is just an example, but there are other mediums that you can try. You will need a paper tissue as well. It's very useful to clean the brushes. The brushes must be specific for oil painting. It's always good to have some small and some big brushes. These here are flat brushes of different sizes, and these are round brushes. You don't need to have many. With time, you will understand the ones you like the most. In my opinion, the white color is the one that is used a lot. That's why I prefer to have a big tube. Another important material is the palette. It is very important to mix the colors. You can use a traditional palette or you can use a disposable palette. You don't need to clean this one. After each session you can throw it away. Now let's see how to use the oil paints. Put some paint on the palette. Take some linseed oil from the first container and mix it well with the color. If you think the paint is not fluid enough, add more medium. But be careful, don't mix too much because the oil paint will lose the consistency and will become transparent. To remove excess paint from the sides of the brush, twist the brush on the palette. Start to apply the color gently on the paper. Before cleaning the brush in the second container, clean on the paper tissue first. This will keep the linseed oil cleaner during the process. Repeat the process until the brush is clean. Now let's try to mix the primary colors to see the colors that we can get. If you want to make a new color, take some paint from the pure color and mix it on the side. To make orange, for example, mix yellow and red. If you want a more intense orange, mix more red and less yellow. But if you want a soft orange, mix just a little red with a lot of yellow. Don't forget to add the medium during the process. Clean the brush well before making another mixture. To make a green, mix yellow and blue. If you want a darker green, mix more blue, but if you want a softer green, mix more yellow. Clean the brush again. By mixing red and blue, you can get this interesting tone. It's very good to make shadows of red, for example. If you mix all the primary colors, you will get something very close to black. You always have to control the mixing of the colors by adding a small amount of each color. Normally I don't use pure black from the tube, I prefer to mix and use this color. But you can use it if you prefer. Let's now try to change the tones a little. To obtain a softer green, mix more yellow. Look like with just two colors we can get different tones. For a lighter orange, mix more yellow. I'm creating these tones, but you can experiment and create many more. You can still lighten and desaturate the colors with white. Let's start by putting a little white next to the colors we want to mix. Now look how we get another shade of green completely different from the others. You can always play with the colors, mix them and see the interesting tones that you can find. Cleaning the brush between each color will help you to get an accurate painting. Do the same with all the colors that you have on your palette. This tone is very interesting, it's a very rich gray. With the white color you can reach different levels of tones. let's see the difference between the black color from the tube and our mixture. It's a little more intense, but you can get the one you prefer more. This is a great exercise to practice. I advise you to explore all the possibilities. So, these are some of the materials that you will need to paint with oils.